Find deals with no money. Hi, this is Ty A.K., the Flip Man. Just giving you the cut version of a Flippinar done the other day on how to find deals if you don't have the money for Bandit signs, direct mail. These are some ways you can find deals basically for free by just being persistent, patient, and working at it on a daily basis. So I go into detail on those methods, but also we have a question and answering period about midway through this particular video, but where I also analyze deals for individuals on the Flippinars. I'm going to start to do a lot more of that and may turn into that just totally because a lot of people seem to have an interest in that. Now, do not text me about deals. Just join the Flippinars at 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays each week, and I will analyze your deal for you during the Flippinar at the end normally. So again, do not text me about deals. Just simply join the Flippinars live, and I will do that for you. Also, if you want to be alerted whenever I upload new videos and I go live on YouTube, simply subscribe to my channel by selecting the red button here that says subscribe. Once you hit subscribe, then you want to turn on the alerts. To do so, you want to select this bell here. Once you select the bell, a window will pop up that says notifications from flipman.net. You want to check here, send me all notifications. As you can see, once you do that, you hit save, and boom, you're subscribed with the alerts turned on. Now, if you already subscribed to my channel and you're not sure if the alerts are turned on, just go back to any of my videos, select the bell, and it'll tell you if you're subscribed or not, just as you see here. Again, subscribe, turn on the alerts. You'll be alerted whenever new videos are uploaded and when I go live. So enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the flip side. Find deals with no money. Should be, as I said, find great deals with no money. All right, the purpose of this particular video is to help those, even help those with money. You know, you can never have too many options to try to find a great deal. But paid options, obviously, in my opinion, are going to be the least frustrating way, because when you're trying to find great deals, just finding deals through free methods, it takes a lot of patience, but you have to be persistent and you need a plan. And what I mean by a plan, if you know you don't have time or the wherewithal to only do or contact actually 2 sellers a day, then make that your goal, whether that's 5 days a week or 7 days a week. If it's 5, make that your goal. It will pay off at some point. It just, you'll get slower to it. You may be forcing it. The first 2 people you call may be opportunities. You never know. Now, that's the great thing about it. You never know what's around the corner. And then, because if you can do that, and then when you do actually turn a deal, then you can put some marketing money into it, and you can still somewhat do the freeways also, you're going to be a beast. You're going to be a beast. So let's get into it. These are must, and I think I've already spoke on some of it, but looking for deals versus advertising deals. That I just mentioned. Advertising for deals makes it simple. If you do an effective job of that, the deals are going to come back to you. Just really that simple. Just a numbers game at that point. All right, you have a plan, as I just mentioned. You have a plan. You can only do 2 a day. Make that your day. And you're going to do it 5 days a week, then do that. So over the course, if you don't do 2 a day over the course of a week, then that's 10. Over the course of a 4-week cycle, which is a month, then that's 40 people that you've contacted. So it may take you 3 months under those terms to get to a deal. But in that first 40, you may find a couple of deals. But some action is always better than no action. All right, so you have to be persistent and you have to have some consistency. All those factors in. So that's where a plan comes into place. So you just don't go hard one day and say, oh, this ain't working. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to have a plan to stick with it, because it's just the next call. It's just the next opportunity if you have the wherewithal to do it that way. All right. So here are some of the tools and methods that you're going to use. Obviously, the internet is a powerful tool. That's why you're here with me right now. So, you know, that in itself says a lot. You know, that's why we're talking right now, because of the internet. So it can be used in a lot of ways. Craigslist is obviously the new newspaper. When I started out, newspapers were still a heavy part of your marketing for sellers and buyers. You know, it would be what you make it fine. So don't get me, because you have to think about a lot of elderly people still like to read the newspaper or whatever. They're not going to place any ads there. They may read some of the classifieds or whatever. But for the bang for your buck, but the newspapers are still expensive. Even though not as many people read, they're still expensive as far as advertising. But with Craigslist, you know, that's free in most markets, where you can, number one, do obviously search in all markets. I was talking about posting, but as far as searching. So with Craigslist, you go to the portion of the site where you can look for rentals. Now, you can do the for sale. And again, you're going to have to be a beast. You're going to be a beast to do it through that method, because there's going to be so many properties that are listed by realtors that you just can't tell off the top. There's going to be so many properties listed by wholesalers that you really can't tell off the top, but you read them, maybe you can speak with them. But you may get fortunate every now and again and find a seller and you can negotiate them down to a cheaper price. But you think about it, you're not the only one doing this. You know, a lot of wholesale, that's where they find their deal, and they'll scale the entire country. So a lot of competition there. But if you target for rent, which are landlords, it's going to be very few people in comparison that are looking in that avenue. You're doing exactly what your direct mail and your bandit signs would do also. That's part of the absentees, you know, because all landlords in most cases, unless it's a property where they're renting out a portion of their house, they're the absentee property. So you're looking for tired landlords. They are tired or ready to retire from the business, and it presents opportunities. I can assure you, all the house deals I've done, probably out of all the different reasons people could be motivated to sell, people that want to get out, want to sell a house because they're tired of managing that property or just being a landlord, period. Tired landlord is going to be number one as far as reason for motivation to sell at a cheap price. A lot of times the property is in repair. They don't want to fix it anymore. They may not have the money to fix it, and so on. You know, they just tired. They just know in order to liquidate it quickly, they need to give you a liquidate quick price. So that's going to be known. So, but you can find obviously those on Zillow and Craigslist. With Zillow, you'll just have a for rent section that you'll be able to navigate through the site and do the same thing. And whenever you actually call a landlord, the way you do it, I've went through I think a Flippinars or some of this before, as far as a portion of this, but how the conversation should go is that you call them, you ask them, is the property still available, which they're going to think you mean for rent. Whether they say yes or no, your follow-up question, would you be interested in, I know you're trying to rent this property, but would you be interested in selling it? All right. Whether they say yes or no, if they say no, then your follow-up question would be, would you be interested in selling any other properties that you own? All right. And so the next question, if they say yes, then obviously you just take the information as you normally would. If they say no, just thank them for their time and let them know if anything changes, to give you a call back. Leave your number with them. Okay. So that's the process. So from there, it just becomes a numbers game. All right. Now, so another option is obviously social media. There are a lot of groups out there that you can network with to try to find deals. There are pages that you could target, just flat out just networking. That's free, whether it's through Facebook or through Instagram or whatever other social media options you like to read. But that just comes from just spending the time and networking with people. You may look through sites that have garage sales on them. You contact an owner or show up at a garage sale or something, and you see it there. Are they moving because are they cleaning out because they're moving, or they're just cleaning out the house, or whatever situation. They may provide a phone number for you to call, and you may just find out, are they trying to sell the property? Okay, so social media obviously is a way. That's a work in progress for me, more so on the paid side of it, the free side of it, just a little experience on. I had more so a couple of students had some success doing it that way, but I can't really put wrap my head around that process. Now I know how to do the paid side, but as far as the free side of it, I just know it can be done, and that's still a working process even for me. And if any of you all have any ideas on that, I'd be glad to share with me. I would gladly take on the information. All right, so another option is driving for dollars. As you see here, we're still basically looking for the same thing. Instead of online, you're offline now. And these are the type of signs that you're looking for, because you'll see professional sign, maybe a realtor sign or a property management company sign in a yard, and that's obvious who they are. Now, sometimes there's still be a property management company, and you'll see signs like these that are shown on the screen here, which you can buy from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that. But that increases your possibility or your chances of it actually being a private owner. You can deal directly with the decision maker. Now, if you did get a actual property manager on the phone or a realtor, just ask them, you think his owner would be interested in selling this property or any of the other properties that they own? You know, they can only say no, and you move on or whatever, but you never know. They may be tired of managing and know the guy really needs to probably get out of the property. They'll know a lot more about it, probably than the owner themselves, just because they are managing and dealing with it on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. So those are the type of signs that you're looking for. Now, obviously, for sale by owner signs, you're going to look at those also similar to these, the red and the white, the black and white, the orange and black. Instead of saying for rent, they'll say for sale, or they'll say actually for sale by owner. Now, if it says for sale by owner, then that's obvious. Sometimes they'll just say for sale, and that's still going to probably be a private owner, because most real estate agents, they're going to have their realtor logo and all this, because they're always trying to promote their firm or their brokerage. So, normally if you see the generic sign like that, it's going to be the actual owner. And I think we sleep on that a lot. A lot of people sleep on that a lot, but you still never know what someone's motivation is. And then it's just a call away. So definitely don't sleep on the for rent, for sale, or for sale by owners, obviously. Just a generic sign that that they bought from Walmart, or Lowe's, or the Home Depot, or somewhere like that. Now, vacant properties, now that's a whole animal in itself, and that comes with research, but still another free way to locate a possible deal. One of the quickest deals I ever done, I was headed to a barbecue and saw a property on my route about a block over from my friend's house. And I just jotted down the address. And whenever I got to his house, I looked it up. That was before smartphones. I just looked it up and saw that, the owner lived there in town, but it was a different address. The mailing address was different than the property address that I was targeting. And gave her, I think I could actually found her number in the phone. I guess I Googled it back then. I actually found her phone and gave her a call later on that evening after I got home, and asked her would she be interested in selling. Her exact words were, "We sure would." She was referring to her and her brother. And so, that was a driving for dollars deal. I think I made a quick $5K on that in less than 10 days. So don't ever sleep on that. And when you're looking for vacant properties, people always ask, well, how do you find who owns the property? The tax bill has to go somewhere. In most states, that's public information. So that'll either go through the city or the county website, which can normally look that stuff up. Sometimes those sites are not user friendly, so you have to navigate through. And if you still don't get through them, just pick up the phone during business hours and call them and ask them how do you navigate to where you could see who owns the property or do tax records or whatever. So and then in worst case, you just go down there and get them to show you. But normally you can find that stuff online. Most counties, most cities, municipalities, they have that information on record. Some states don't know. That's not public information, but I think most, so that's the starting point. You find out who owns it. You're hoping that the mailing address of the tax owner, the property owner is different than the actual address of the property. And then from there, you can try to find a phone number, but it's so difficult a lot of times to do that, you know, but a lot of times you're dealing with older people, they still have landlines, so it may just be a Google search away. If a phone call is a phone number with a phone call is an option, you always want to take that option over trying to mail out something. Now, you may call them and they may not sell, but you may still just follow up and send something in the mail every couple of months, because people's lives change. And where I didn't need to sell today, 3 months from now I need a surgery. I got a kid going out to college, going through a divorce, just lost my job, whatever. And now they need to liquidate something of value to take care of what a situation that they have. All right, so now real estate agents and brokers. Now, obviously, I just did that video last night on wholesaling houses using realtors / real estate agents, subtitle, wholesaling houses, list wholesaling houses listed on MLS. So not going to go through that entire process because I just did a video on this entire step. So just go to YouTube and do a search for that particular video, and I go in depth on this entire process. All right, so now with bird dogs. Now with bird dogs, you can place an ad on Craigslist. You can place it in the real estate section, or you can place it in the in the gigs section, and probably domestic or something like that of the gig section of Craigslist, you know, and basically saying that we'll pay for house leads, you know, as a title, and you explain briefly what you offer. You pay $500, I'll just say $500 to $1,500 per house that we actually close on. So you get paid within 24 hours of a closing. And so you set that up, you know, and a lot of times they don't even know what it means, but they understand we'll pay for house leads. You know, they do understand that. So you explain to them how they'll get paid. A lot of times it may be as simple as they may know a house that's across the street from them, and they know the owner would entertain selling because it's vacant or whatever the situation is. And that's an easy $500,000 or $1,500 that you could pay them. I say, well, how do you determine what you'll pay them? Well, that'll be up to you, depending on how much money you make or whatever. So, but I would always say a minimum of $500. All right, a simple website, social media page, explain your offer. That's one of the ways that you can somewhat keep for a lot of calls from coming in from bird dogs, that you create a simple site and explain the process and what's in it from them. Explain to them how to do it, or what's also in it for them. Again, I mentioned you pay $500,000, I said $1,500, and you explain to them they get paid when you get paid. You want to make that very clear when talking to them, or any way that you actually advertise that you're looking for board bird dogs. All right, so let's recap. So online, Craigslist, Zillow, social media. You're driving for dollars. You know, they're targeting landlord and for sale by owner. Same thing with Craigslist, Zillow, social media, mainly landlord, tired landlords. As I said, landlords is probably one of the top ways you're going to find free methods of trying to find deals. Those are probably going to be the people that you're going to target the most. Dealing with real estate agents, as I said, I got the new video out that came out last night that you can just do a search for on my channel, or just a search on YouTube. And then, of course, bird dogs. So now most, you know, people, so I don't have any buyers. Don't worry about that. Find a great deal, advertise it. The buyers will be belly begging you not to show it to anyone else. That's it. So you have ways. You can go back through this particular webinar. It'll should be up on YouTube and go later than by tomorrow. It's a split video, so I have to mesh them together, so that takes a little time. But these are the ways that you can actually find deals free. These are several different ways. Again, your target particular owner is normally going to be a landlord, you know, just tired landlord. But even with Bandit signs direct mail, those are going to be the majority of people that you're going to deal with, you know. So and then you can get into multifamily with the same thing. You can use some of the same methods. All right, but why are you here? Most people are here because they want to improve their financial situation. The solution, in my opinion, is 3 to 5 deals per month. All right. And how do you accomplish that? All right. You must talk to 35 sellers per day to do that many, from my experience and others that I've dealt with. I consider myself a marketer first, more so than a wholesaler/investor. My job on a daily basis is to get up and let sellers know I exist, whether that's residential or commercial. All right, how many deals do you need to do to get to change your financial situation? So we'll start with some easy numbers here. If you did one deal per month and you average $5,000 to $7,000 per deal, some markets it'll be a lot higher, but that's going to probably be about the bottom for most markets. That's 12 deals in a year. That's $60,000 to $84,000 a year. Most people that changes their situation, it changes it drastically. Let's go up to 2 deals per month at $5,000 to $7,000 per deal. That's 24 deals in a year. That's $120,000 to $168,000 per year. Let's get up a little higher, a little big boy. So that's $5,000 to $7,000 per deal, 60 in a year. That's $300,000 to $420,000 per year. All right, don't forget about the free courses. Remind me, we got the 200 plus videos. You're already here on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, watching this right now, there's no reason you shouldn't hit subscribe and then hit the bell to get the notifications when I go live here on YouTube, and also when I post new videos. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in the courses and coaching, you can call or text me directly. I actually pick up the phone. I actually return your text messages. All right. If you want a free copy of the one-page contract, if you don't already have it, that I've used for the last 14 ongoing years and can still continue to use, the text the word contract to 313131. Don't text me, text contract to 313131. No area code needed, just those 6 digits. Follow me on Instagram at flipman.net. Follow me on Twitter at theflipman. As you see here, flipman.net is all spelled out. Again, subscribe to YouTube. If you're here right now, please subscribe. There's no reason you shouldn't subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you turn on the notifications. All right, need proof of funds. If you're going to deal with real estate agents, the only way they're going to take you serious, you got to have proof of funds. So realprf.com. Submit your phone number. The next page, Keith Yacker is going to explain to you exactly what you are getting. PrivateMoneyList.net, over 400 private money lenders. The name speaks for itself. Same thing. Submit your phone number. The next page, Keith Yacker will explain exactly what you are getting. I think that's the end of that. So find deals with no money. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing here so you all can look at me. I'll look at you all, and we'll start to answer some questions here. As I mentioned before, if you got a deal that you want me to analyze, you have a price and some details and the ARV about the property, and if you're not sure about how to do that, you can just go to in the future. Do a YouTube search for calculating ARV in 60 seconds, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we're here live on YouTube using Zoom. So hopefully that's coming through clearly. And so I'm just waiting for questions. Unless y'all just ready for me to give away the free course. I will. All right, the question here, someone said, do you include the address when you're marketing a house or selling Zillow? No, I never include the address. Now, Zillow, you don't have really, you can't hide the address. That reduces the number of people that you can, that you'll reach. But on Craigslist, I never include the address. Zillow, it depends on what type of seller you're dealing with. Now, if the property is vacant, you put it on Zillow, and you don't think they're really that internet savvy because Zillow is going to send some traffic out there. I can guarantee you that it's going to send some traffic out there. It's a great source to try to move a property. Next question is, What do you say to wholesalers? Let them know you're a wholesaler. I don't, because just like you have a lot of questions and you've actively been trying to understand what wholesaling is, if you try to explain that to a seller, you're going to lose the deal. You just are. You're just going to lose it. It's just no reason to explain it to them. The only thing that matters is that you can close and do like you say you're going to do. As far as getting them the money that they want. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but it makes it better because if you got a loan, no, it doesn't matter. The cash, the check don't still clear the same. So you never get into that. The only thing they ever need to know, you buy houses, you normally close in 2 to 4 weeks. That's it. That's the only thing they need to know. That answers all their questions for the most part. They may get in detail about the process, but that answers the majority of their questions. All right, it says, for the bird dog, what happens if the owners don't get back to you? What do you tell them? I'm not sure what you mean when you say the owners don't get back to you. If you could be a little bit more clear, Danielle, on that particular question. All right, so Danielle also asks, can you wholesale nice properties in nice neighborhoods? Okay, so to answer that, yes, I've done quite a bit of that. They're harder to find, more so, for a number of reasons, but most definitely, you don't want to be limited on any of them, but most definitely, Danielle. Do you do any owner financing and lease option purchase? I've done it all. Just not my thing, but yes, I've done those also over the years. Remember now, the second deal, I don't know if you're on the first part of the Flippinars, the second deal that I ever did, was, what am I trying to say? The second deal that I ever did was, I'm sorry, the first deal I ever did was a lease option that blew up in my face. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so someone says, how close should the seller be to your offer for you to go visit the property? Okay, good question. If I know my number, we'll just say it's 50,000 and they say 60, I'm gonna go out and probably look at it. You know what I'm saying? I may be able to get them down. And then it may be in better condition than what I thought. The area may be better or whatever. So, so it doesn't have to be. Again, it depends on what price range you're talking to. Now, you said 300,000 is my number, and we're at 320 or 330. Then we're still sort of close. I may still go out there and take a look at it. So I can't give you a percentage. It's just a feel on something like that. That's one of those things that just comes from experience. Someone said, what's the cheapest way to send out letters, or do I just show up at their house? I wouldn't recommend that. That's Gator, but well, let me take that back. If you got that in you, go for it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the cheapest ways to send send a letter, I was just a U.S. Postal Service and a stamp. Now, if you want to stand out from everyone else, then I sometimes go. I've been running, a recent campaign where I've been sending UPS, but I'm not sending as many. I'm very targeted on it now. Those cost anywhere from $9 to $12 a thing. Now, I'm not going to recommend you have to do it that way, but I'm just trying. Let's say if you want to stick out in the mail from everybody else, that the regular mail that they receive on a daily basis. The most difficult thing about the regular mail is getting your message read. Someone says, are you going to give lease option agreements? I have probably some of my files or whatever, but it's just nothing I just give out or whatever. So, Bernard, someone says, can you show the properties you are working on like you used to? Well, that's when I put out those apartments, when I put stuff out like that, I do it for a little activity, but also, to help find buyers, because I don't know who you may know. And I've built an audience enough. I've built an audience enough that it just creates a tip, which that was part of my reasoning for doing these videos and stuff the way I'm doing them compared to what everybody else has done over the, everybody else has done. That I provide enough quality content to individuals that you want to work with me because it's something in it for you, obviously. But I like to think that you feel I'm sincere. The free information that I've given out, that hey, this guy, hey, help me make some money, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. So the properties that I market, it just depends on what it is. Sometimes I don't like to put it out there like that because I may have some pocket buyers or whatever. So it just depends, so, but it'll be more of that to come under, but mainly just commercial, the local stuff. I got a grip on that. It's just the commercial stuff that I need the most exposure for in a certain kind of way. Someone said property walkthrough. I may do that. I like to do that live. I guess I technically don't have to do it live or whatever, but I may do some of that in the future. I guess that's what you meant. Someone says, all right, so let's say a mailman sends you the address and you check the owner's name and address from the website and send them a letter. If they don't reply, what do you tell the mailman since you said you're going to give them something? You have to let them know basically they're working on commission. They're not going to get paid unless something happens. It's a numbers game, so you have to be very clear on that. You have to be very clear on that. All right, do you have a seller script particularly for landlords? Well, I have the script which I have top 10 questions you ask sellers. The only thing you're going to add to that is the beginning, is the property still available? That's really the only thing you're going to add to that. Is it still available? Whether they say yes or no, you want to transition over and ask them would they be interested in selling the property. If they say yes, you proceed on and gather the information as normal. If they say no, you see if they have anything else they would be interested in selling. Also, if they say yes, you want to still see if they have anything else that they would be interested in selling. All right, are there any upfront fees when you set up a closing with a title company? Well, normally they pull the title, so depending on how you go about it, if it's a buyer that they're always dealing with, they don't charge them upfront for anything, so to answer your question, no, in most cases. The market said I made it. Did you get my email? I've been on here, man, so no. So post your information here. Someone says if you're just paying the back taxes on an agreement, yours, talking about my contract, do you just put it on the line with the back tax? No, you just put it on there as just the price. Same thing, just as the price. The title company or a closing attorney will work out the details. You just put it on there as the price. All right, Raheem said, what would you offer on a house with an ARV of 320 and repairs are 20,000? Probably around about 180. If they rejected, your follow-up question will be, how close can you come to that amount? You're just trying to accomplish what's their least amount. And you figure out if that's the number you work with or not. If I offered them 180, and especially if they took that out, that's a deal. But they came back at, I don't know, say 250, probably not going to be a deal. But if they came back and said, hey, 200, then yeah, you may have something to work with. All right, how will you get a seller to lower the price? Well, some people are salespeople. You get to convince people to believe what you believe, but I don't really have it like that. I'm going to Once they give me a price and ask them is that the best they can do, I'm normally not going to keep asking. You know, I'll just let them know if anything changes, give me a call back. You know, so if and sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? But that's important. Why it's important that you ask, why are you selling? And you get into that builds a little rapport. You just listen, you know, do more listening than talking. Sometimes I know that's a little difficult for some people, but that's what it, but as far as convincing them to take a lower price, it's a numbers game. That's why you have to deal with a lot of different people to get the price that you want, you know, because the majority of people are going to be in a lot of land about their property. You can easily talk to 100 people and only do 3 deals. That's only 3%, but that may mean 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 grand. You know what I'm saying? So you only have to be slightly successful as far as the number of people that you talk to and you close a deal on to be highly successful financially in this business. So you expect individuals to give you a ridiculous price. I'm still surprised when I get a price that works for me. Still surprised, 14 years in the game. All right, so someone said, what question do you ask to build rapport? You know, first thing is ask them why are they selling? You ask them some of the history about the property. You know, what could, you know, as far as the condition, how did this happen? You know, how long has it been? How long have you owned the house? So all those things, you know, they build rapport. You, if you're comfortable enough, some people may not want to get in there, but you'll know. Ask them what do they do. You know, a lot of times they're going to tell you anyway. So those just few things like that open up a lot of other open-end questions that, you know, they'll go with. All right. Danielle, thank you. Danielle basically saying, can she hold a wholesaler property where the owner only wants to, the owner only just wants the taxes paid? Oh yeah, those are the ones that you're looking for, that baby. Oh, you make that happen right there. You know, hopefully the numbers still work. You know, hopefully the taxes didn't put you out of reach. So most definitely. Someone says, "Oh, you still need to remove those apartment buildings?" Most definitely, still available. Apartmentsforsale.net. I'll type it right here. Apartmentsforsale.net. Yeah, still need it. Well, they won't let me type it. I guess they don't like you to type a web address in the what's name. That's cool. So APTS, apartments abbreviated, apartmentsforsale.net. Yeah, $10,750 is the referral fee. We had to go back in and renegotiate some stuff with the seller, so but the price didn't change on what we'll pay a fee on. You know, they gave us some for bad income information. It's a mom and pop operation. The information is limited. I had to repeat myself over and over again on that, but that's cool. Or whatever. So, all right. So someone says property is worth $60,000. Repairs on 15, rough neighborhood, 3-1, roof, fairly new, less than 5 years old. What would you offer? All right. You know what? I think this the name of the segment should be what would you offer? What would the flip man offer? What do y'all think about that? So, but anyway, George, thanks. On that, George, with 15K in repairs. Rough neighborhood, you got to get that 5,000 or less, man. You know, to have a chance on something like that. Now, each market is different. People may pay a little more. Only you never know sometimes until you just test it out. But just going from what I know, with 15 repairs, from your estimation, 5,000 less, maybe under 10, but I'm gonna say around 5 or less or whatever. So, yeah, I'm gonna do the free course, Antoine. All right, somebody answered Danielle's question. Yes, you can just subtract the back taxes, correct. Are you into books or so? Some of these. Someone, Kennard asks, am I into books or so, or what are some of the books to change this mentality. I'm not a reader, so to answer your question, no, I'm not. I'm not a reader, so I can't answer that for you, man. Sorry. If you're on here, please subscribe to my channel too. Make sure if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications. Someone says, are gas stations good or not so good for commercial deals? Yeah, they are. You know, you'll find a lot of Asians, a lot of Middle Eastern individuals like those properties. And I've dealt with some of those individuals, and they're difficult to deal with. Now, you can find an old mom and pop, maybe with a white cat, black cat, or whatever. You may have an opportunity there, but I've had some of them, as far as Asians and Middle Eastern people, say, hey, if you deal with us, you know, no, you're not going to get a good deal. You know, we've already drained it. You know, that comes from them. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever, you know. But to answer your question, yeah, there's opportunities there. You know, like with anything else, it's about what you can negotiate. All right, Jamarcus said he has an 11 unit, 10 are occupied, appraisal 330, payoff is 231. They want 100K to add to their move back to Cali fund. Repairs are potential to 2 to 4K per unit, upgrades, raise rents $50 per door. That's a lot of information there, Jamarcus. So basically, they want 330 for it, if I'm understanding you right. You say the 230 payoff, they want 100K, so that's 330. That's the asking. So I would need to know the gross income and the gross expenses to come up with an NOI to be able to tell you, you know, what to do there. Someone says, how do you automate your wholesale business? Now, obviously, you want to be as efficient and repetitive that on things that work as possible. But as far as automation, in the sense that you have someone to answer the phone for you, going out to view the properties, going to closing and all this stuff, I'm telling you, that's a lot of land. You're going to do a lot of the stuff yourself, especially starting out, as you should. Now, you obviously want to put as much technology in place and individuals in place to do as much as possible. But a lot of it's hands-on in the sense of talking to sellers. Now, you don't have to do it the way I do it, obviously, but I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to everybody that calls me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done deals where because I actually gave them the time 6 months later or a year later, or even a year and a half, I think is the longest, they called me back. They didn't call any other guy. They called me back because I spoke to them, and you know, boom, a deal. So, but that's going to be on the individual. You know, so. All right. Someone says, "Are you a buyer? So what's your info?" I'm just a wholesaler. I bought in the past, but wholesaling is my game. I like to be in and out. You know, it's really that simple. I like to be in and out. All right, Tobias. Glad to be a former real estate agent turned wholesaler. Look, man, help me do that. All right. Yeah, apartmentsforsale.net. Thanks, Glam House. Thank you. Yeah, it won't let you type in an actual URL. What made you start doing YouTube? Before I even got into real estate, just the internet and being able to reach out to people and just how powerful of a communication medium that it is. And internet marketing, which I still don't think I have a real clue on it. I probably know more than most, which we're still not saying a lot of the guys that do it and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, you know, doing it, and sometimes millions. I'm a long way from that. But it really intrigues me from just every phase of the website, social media to video, and YouTube is like, you know, it's just, I don't know. And I'm really an introvert, you know, but I'm sitting here in a room by myself or whatever. It's not like I'm sitting in front of an audience for real. But why I started doing it, I started telling people about what I do, like friends and family members, and they wouldn't do anything with their information. So I made up my mind, if I tell people about what I do, and I spend my time as far as really getting in depth, I'm gonna have to be paid for it. But whenever I start to do something, I want to be different than what everybody else does. So I looked around on YouTube. There's a few people out there giving away this information or whatever, but I didn't want to be a carton sheet, and I didn't even hate on Ron and LeGrand, anybody like that. I didn't want to be just all fluff. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't understand internet marketing the way you need to, you get people to get interested in what you do. You get in front of enough eyeballs and you sell them whatever you're trying to sell them or whatever. So the approach I took for 2 reasons is that I give away the information. You can take the information and run with, which a lot of people have done with. But if you want to actually need to be involved in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, as far as trying to put deals together, then boom, I'm gonna have to be paid for that. And then the other thing is where I am now. It took a little while. Probably could have got there a little earlier if I would have just tried it. But being able to just put a commercial property out there, and I know I'm doing good when I have people call me and say, I've already heard, this property or whatever, through some such stuff, So I created the octopus tentacles that I wanted to, that it's going to pay off in just astronomical numbers with commercial real estate, not residential really at all. So those are the 2 reasons. Internet marketing I love. The only thing I had of value was my knowledge of real estate and the deals that I had done and continue to do. And then where I want to be commercial and using the network of people that follow me, such as yourself and others. And, we all benefit, from it, if it's an opportunity to do that. So, that makes sense. That's why. All right, somebody said the sellers will give over a duplex with $80K payoff. That's worth about 105. If the property is vacant, that's one thing, but if it's rented, that's another. So you gotta at least identify that for me, Marcus. Distinguish that for me. What do you say contracts? So what do you say the contracts are? I guess they meant are for when you send the contract to a seller. It's going to be rare that a person owns a piece of real estate that they haven't gone through the process. The contract is to get everything into motion, to get the deal into motion. So basically say, hey, we agreed on this price. We said we're going to close at this time. I'm buying it as is. Boom. It's basically just to initiate the purchase. That's it. It's just the order of business. Subject to financing. Which one are you referring to, Jamarcus? You have to help me out here. Help me out. Someone says, do you get a contractor? Man, these questions, I don't know why. I wonder why these questions, it seems to be a little bit more, a lot more questions here on YouTube than on the internet. I don't know. So we probably won't go full time on this here in the future once I look at the video quality. But to answer the question, do you get a contractor to go out with you the first day? Never. I have a video estimating repairs, actually a FLIPPINAR. You just need an estimation. You don't have to know exact. If you send 10 contractors out, they'll come out with 10 different figures. You just need a ballpark just to know how to plug it in to see if you have a potential deal or not. That's it. Let me see here. Gross rents are $65,400. Expenses are $30,000. NOI $35,000. So I don't have you said 330. So just quick math here. 30, what you said, how many units was that? Let me see. So 35,000 divided by 330,000. So that's like a 10.6 cap. Ain't bad. You would actually want to try to get it cheaper. But that's not bad at a 10.6. Is it of A, B, C, D? What type of property is it? What type of hood? All right. She said, Glam House TV says I hope this is not a crazy question, but are you happy doing this? Are you comfortable, and do you want and doing what you want from this business? I'm comfortable. You know, I think about it often, Glam House, is that, you know, I've had jobs and stuff before. And so I'm able to take care of me and people that I care about, you know. So to answer your question, yeah, I want more, a lot more, but you know, I get up in the morning and go to the gym, and everybody else going to work, man. I'm very appreciative, you know, but I'm not, it doesn't make me any better than anyone else. I just take some information and put it into work and to play, whatever. So, but to answer your question, I'm good. I want more though. I'm good. Subject to financing, wanted to wholesale a lease option. See, I'm Jamarcus. I'm not sure what you're asking. You get be clear, because I think it seemed like you're talking about two different properties. Just type it all out for me. Just your full question for me. I'll be happy to answer for you. What color combo bandit signs, in your opinion, gets the best result? You can look at my my logo in the background here, the Flip Man, red and white and blue, man. You know, according to the sign lady that I trust her opinion, our eyes as human beings are naturally attracted to red first, blue second. And the best thing that they're going to look good is on a white background. So you do all red on white or all blue on white, or a combination. I like to do a combination of red and blue. They're a little bit more expensive, but I think they stand out from everyone else. How often do you list wholesale listed properties? Not often, because I don't like to grind on it and cover. Every now and then I get somebody to work on it for me. They'll get wore out on it, you know what I'm saying? Because they may go a month before they get paid or whatever. But, you know, they're going to get paid handsomely or whatever. I'll pay them, you know, in between, but not as much as so. And so if I do it myself, you know, I'm just so unorganized. That's why I know anybody can do this stuff, you know, but I don't do it as much as I need to. So maybe 4 or 5 a year, which I should be doing at least 2 or 3 a month, you know, if I was just on it, you know, but not enough, not nearly enough. Somebody said red and white or blue and white. Yeah, you know, either or, like I said, or red, white, and blue. I wish I had one. If you all give me a second, I'll show you one. Hold on a second. So here we go. So yeah, so here we go right here. So see. So boom. Just that simple. So anyway, so I hope you all saw that. That give you an idea. So I guess the sign police will be calling me. They get this deep in the video, they need to. All right, so man, we got a lot of time. I'm gonna have to round this up. We done went a long time here. Someone said, do you think that wholesaling can take you to $1 million income? Most definitely, because it's going to allow you to build resources to get into other parts of real estate. Oh, no question about that. Quickly, if done correctly, and you're a good steward of your funds, which I haven't been always, but you know, it is what it is. Someone said, "Would you try eviction records for wholesale?" Yeah, because a lot of times those would be tired landlords. Demarcus said it's 50% occupied. Is 50% occupied with that much income? If it's 50% occupied with that much income, yeah, that's a no-brainer of a deal, Demarcus, if I'm following you correctly. Someone says on the duplex, 560 per unit. They don't want anything for the duplex if 11 unit is bought. Oh, okay. So again, I'm still a little confused, Marcus. I don't have enough detail. It's 50% occupied with 300. What you said? $65,000 in income. Yeah, that's a no-brainer of a deal. You know, if it has that much income, and it's half full. Oh, let me see here. Will your contract work in Texas? Oh yeah. I got a story. I got one of my students. The audio on is bad on his end. That was great with me. The way he made 18,000 on his first deal was a couple of years back that I did that interview. But look for Dallas student makes 18,000, and then I have one in Houston also from years back. Tierra take if the price is right. Somebody just comment on the listed properties. All right. Let me see here. Once you have a buyer in place, how do you explain to the seller someone else will be closing on the property? You don't. You don't. That's not relevant. Just tell them when the closing is going to be, and that's it. When you show up at the closing, you introduce, hey, Mr. Seller, how are you doing today? This is my partner on this deal, Mr. Buyer. Everybody sit down, boom, they sign everything, pass the seller a check, pass you a check. Everybody shake hands, everybody got what they wanted out of the deal. No problems, none, zero. Hey, but I'm gonna make that be the last question here, and we'll just go ahead and give away the free course tonight. I don't have a phone side. I should have went ahead and did that. So I'm going to see how I want to do this. It's a little different. I don't have the option I do on my other service here. Let me see how I want to do this. All right. I'm gonna text. I'm gonna let her randomly. Let me text my buddy and let her randomly pick. Just give me a second here, guys. All right. I'm waiting on the response here. So, well, I'll answer a couple more questions while we're waiting on it. Let me see, where did I leave off at? All right. Yeah, Tobias is saying, I don't know where you're located, but here in Dallas, I know 7 million now wholesale is possible. Just keep the consistency and persistence, you'll definitely get there. DeMarc says it's a B property. Okay. Mark says I would offer you single tenant buildings. Well, it's ramped up, so probably every 2 or 3 months. hope I'm trying to get up to at least one a month and continue on from there. Someone says, do they get to own the house free and clear to wholesale? They own more than the property is worth. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Kennard. Have I ever done a subject to deal? Yeah, I've done a couple. Not my thing. I'm not frowning on, but it's not my thing. Says, how many postcards letters are you sending out on multifamily deals per month? Again, I'm not that organized, so what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing, I'll do 300 to 400 at a time on multifamily. But that's a hit or miss with me. Do I purchase properties in the state? Well, I look at anything commercially in the state, as for a single tenant and multifamily. Someone said, what's some good advice not to give up? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, okay, Jamarcus. Yeah, I would probably, you could probably wholesale that, with 100K down. I'm assuming he'll do owner financing. So yeah, most definitely. Yeah, okay. I didn't know the characters limit because you say I'm not typing, I'm just reading. No problem, Jamarcus. Would you recommend people joining local REIA? Yeah, it couldn't hurt. Not really my thing because I'm not a networker. I'll go there and won't say anything anybody. I would be wasting my money. But if you're a networker, yeah, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt. It'll pay off at some point. Okay, Jamarcus, just hit me up, man. All right, so let me see what she come back at. Okay, the first one is she pulled down Erica Richardson. I'm not sure if you're still on here, Erica. Please respond. Let me do that one first. Make sure I make a note of that. So just text me, Erica, 205-492-3425. Text me 205-492-3425. Also, yeah, I can do that because I can verify you through Gmail. Okay, cool. So Erica Richardson. Hold on, people. All right, and see who's the second one here. Wendy Brown is who she chose. Okay, Wendy Brown. All right, Wendy, do the same thing. Text or call me 205-492-3425. 205-492-3425. All right, subscribe to the channel again, folks. Tell friends, family members about it. Make sure you check out the most recent video that I did on wholesaling houses using real estate agents. Wholesaling houses listed on MLS. That's the subtitle. So again, I think the YouTube thing worked out okay. But again, Erica and Wendy, please text me 205-492-3425 for your courses. Thanks, and We'll see you guys on the flip side.